Halloween is just right around the corner, and someone who always makes an appearance this time of the year is this frightening figure, the Headless Horseman. This horror legend has been showcased in literature and cinema through the centuries because it does have a very compelling origin story that continues to fascinate even until today. And while the Headless Horseman myth draws its origins from European folklore since the Middle Ages, there's a side story surrounding it that's more intriguing than it is terrifying, and that is the Headless Saint. Throughout history, saints have been depicted performing all sorts of miracles, healing the sick, casting out demons, even raising the dead. But today, we're diving into one of the most bizarre and striking miracles of all: saints who walk around holding their own heads. Welcome to the strange world of Cephalophores. It has long fascinated artists and spectators alike with its intriguing blend of the sacred and the macabre. From medieval altarpieces to contemporary art installations, this enigmatic symbol has left an indelible mark on our collective imagination. Here's to history. We're glad you could join us for some fascinating facts about headless saints and how they shaped Christian belief and collective imagination. We hope you'll like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more entertaining history lore. Cephalophore comes from the Greek words kephale, meaning head, and phorion, meaning to carry. In the earliest years of the Church, many of Christ's followers were persecuted and eventually killed. These followers would become the Church's earliest martyrs. Cephalophores are martyrs, saints who, after being decapitated, miraculously carried their own severed heads. These stories first appeared in early Christian lore and have fascinated people for centuries. The first recorded account of a cephalophore is from a sermon by John Chrysostom, an early archbishop of Constantinople. He stated in one of his sermons that a martyr's severed head terrified the devil more than when it was able to speak. In this context, the figure's decapitated head was often depicted as a radiant, glowing orb, signifying the triumph of the spirit over the flesh. The practice of venerating the heads of saints emerged in the early Christian era, often in underground catacombs. This practice was rooted in the belief that the head, as the seat of the soul, held special spiritual power. Cephalophores were often displayed in churches and monasteries, where they were objects of devotion. Pilgrims would pray before the relic, seeking blessings and miracles. The veneration of cephalophores was an important part of medieval religious life. While decapitated heads talking seemed to fly in the face of all logic, the early Christian believers worshipped them to the point of becoming cephalophoric cults, as evidenced by the increasing glorification of cephalophores in medieval art and hagiographies. And out of all the cephalophores venerated through time, one stands out who's made the most significant mark of all: Saint Denis of Paris. Legend has it that after his execution, he stood up, picked up his severed head, and walked 6 miles while preaching a sermon on repentance before collapsing where the Basilica of Saint Denis now stands. Saint Denis was sent to France as a missionary with 6 other bishops. Because of his effective conversion of people to Christianity, the Roman governor had him arrested. After a long imprisonment, Saint Denis and his 2 companions were executed by beheading on the highest hill of Paris, which we now know as Montmartre. Veneration of Saint Denis began soon after his death. His popularity rose as prayers in his name were answered, leading him to become the patron saint of France. Saint Denis' incredible endurance has inspired pilgrims for centuries and turned Montmartre into one of Paris's most iconic spots. Saint Denis isn't the only highly venerated cephalophore, though. There's Saint Nicasius of Rheims, who was said to continue reciting psalms even after being beheaded. And in Welsh tradition, we find Saint Winifred, whose severed head was reattached miraculously. While not depicted as a cephalophore, her story does contain elements of the trope. Other notable beheaded martyrs include Saint Paul the Apostle and John the Baptist. Although Saint Paul is not commonly depicted in Christian art as a cephalophore, some traditions suggest that he briefly carried his head after his beheading in Rome. Same goes for John the Baptist, who's never shown to carry his head around. Regardless, these martyrs continue to be associated with miracles and healings, attracting pilgrims from far and wide. As time passed on, there was a decline in cephalophore worship. The Reformation and Counter-Reformation had a significant impact on the veneration of cephalophores. In Protestant regions, many relics were destroyed, while in Catholic areas, their importance declined as the focus shifted towards other forms of devotion. Even though veneration of cephalophores declined, what's important is that medieval art and hagiographies, or the writing of the lives of saints, have been preserved and displayed through the generations. The tradition of cephalophores extends beyond Christianity, with echoes in ancient mythologies such as the story of the Celtic warrior Bran the Blessed, a giant and a British king in Welsh mythology whose severed head guided his followers safely back home. In the 28th canto of Dante's Divine Comedy, a headless figure approaches Dante, saying that he is Bertrand de Born. He holds his severed head in front of him as if it were a lantern, then holds it up to the poets so they can hear him better. In the late 14th century chivalric romance prose, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, a focal point in the story is when Sir Gawain beheads the Green Knight. Right after, the Green Knight picks up his severed head and reminds Sir Gawain of the appointed time. The history of cephalophores is a fascinating glimpse into the religious and cultural beliefs of past centuries. While their veneration may have declined, these relics continue to captivate our imaginations and serve as reminders of the enduring power of faith and tradition. These stories blurred the lines between history, miracle, and myth. Even in contemporary times, cephalophores occasionally appear in literature, comics, and other forms of media. The cephalophore tradition may also have inspired the most famous decapitated figure in modern times, the headless horseman trope in folklore, like Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So, whether you're captivated by religious history or curious about its influence on culture, cephalophores offer a unique glimpse into the ways that faith and storytelling intertwine. Thanks for watching one of history's strangest tales, which is all about the cephalophores. We're curious to hear your thoughts. Do you think these severed heads could have been living and breathing then? Let us know in the comments section. So, here's to history. We're excited to bring more captivating history topics, so hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to be in the know. See you next time.